Welcome to the TicketCity Inside the Huddle podcast, where we take you around the world of live events. Our events experts will share with their valuable insights into the world of sports, concerts, and theater. Thanks for stopping by. And now, here we go. All right. Welcome to the TicketCity Inside the Huddle podcast. And today is a special show as we're covering the Masters. And we actually have a special guest on our hands today, Caroline Gibbs. How you doing today, Caroline?
I'm good, James. How are you?
Not too bad. Not too bad. I'm excited to talk to you about the Masters. Caroline, you are kind of our Masters expert because you've been there so many times. How many times have you been there?
I have been there at least 15, I believe.
Wow.
So
Okay.
something like that, 15 and counting.
So you definitely know a lot about the area and all of that. And because I'm kind of a newbie when it comes to this. And when you go there, what are your favorite things about going to the Masters?
Attending the event, I would say it's hard to pick one thing specifically. You know, I love being outdoors. I love flowers and when you go and step onto the grounds and you first come up over the hill by where the clubhouse, and you can see sort of um, just this whole landscape, and all the azaleas are in bloom. Just everything is so gorgeous, and I've told people this 1,000 times. Seeing it on TV, even in the most newest high def technology, does not do it justice. I mean, it is pristinely immaculate. There's not ever a speck of trash on the ground. One of my favorite things is that the people that are there to as spectators have such a deep appreciation for the event itself, the history of it, the whole um, you know prestige behind it, that they're so respectful of not littering. And really, I don't think you see that at other other sporting events. When you go to a football game, there's peanuts all over the ground and people's cups and trash. And the Masters is on another level. That, and then you're there, and somehow, I don't know what they do. Maybe it's just because it's so cheap, but like the beer just tastes better. I don't know why. I mean, it's just like this so low price. I mean, I think it's like $2 or $3 now, maybe $3 for a beer. And like, what other sporting event can you get that? Sandwiches are $1.50, $2. Um, they're really good. When we get to go on the course, and all of our coworkers will say, "Okay, bring me a pimento cheese or an egg salad," and I always stick a couple extras in our bags on the way out, to bring them back to them. It just tastes good. It's not just because it's cheap, but it just tastes good. So,
Who
um,
would have thought Georgia with a beer flows like wine?
I know, I'm not a beer drinker, but I don't know. It's just being out there, being outside. It's just really special. People are so friendly, and when there's no players obviously around you, and they're not actively participating in the tournament, but you can, to chat with folks, and everyone's so happy to be there. And um, it's just really cool.
Yeah,
Um,
and that's one of the reasons why we wanted to do this show, because I know it's happening next week, and it's going to be for the first time in a long time that they're not going to have. And I don't even you may know this or not, but I don't think they've ever not had fans, and that's kind of a huge
I don't
deal.
think,
And
yeah.
yeah, and then because we wanted to do this a while ago, because we wanted to for our clients and customers to know what it's like to go to this event, because this is we're talking creme de la creme. It's like the Super Bowl when it
Hmm.
comes to golf. So,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
about the stories that I've heard from Caroline over the years, it makes me want to go. And I've never been myself, so I definitely want the show to showcase how when we sell to our clients, what it's like to go to the event and if they had any questions. So
Sure.
these next few questions might seem a little contraire, but I'm going to ask them anyway. For those
Okay.
who, once they, people that know golf are going to know these. But where is the Masters played, Caroline?
It's in Augusta, Georgia, every year, and it is right in the middle of town. It's maybe about a mile off of I-20 if you're coming from Atlanta, um, or from South Carolina from the other direction. And they have turned it over the past 15 years. They've turned it into what literally and truly looks like Disneyland for adults. I mean, they have expertly, arranged all the parking so people can get in and out of there very quickly. And every year, Augusta, Georgia, it is the far eastern side of the state. So it literally sits kind of right on the border of South Carolina. Um, yeah, and it's it's there. It's the probably not going to say the only thing going on in that town because there's a lot more, but definitely the biggest thing going on in that town. They have a huge medical school and some other stuff too. But that's the thing. It's the event that everyone is talking about for sure.
That's awesome. When in, I know it's a little different this year because it's happening in November, but hopefully, things will get back to normal next year, and we'll start having it in April. What is the weather like in Augusta around there, around that time frame?
Much like the rest of the South. I mean, it's cool in April. It's cool in the morning. Obviously, sometimes a little overcast. It burns off, and typically it's in like the 70s, 80s, in the middle of the day. I have been there when it was one time. It was freezing cold. Um, Clearly did not pack the right clothes because we were expecting it to be, a typical warm, ish April. But other than that, it's pretty consistent. I mean, occasionally you'll get a little bit of rain, because it's April. But yeah, it's maybe like mid to high 50s in the morning and at night, and then it'll be in the 70s, 80s during the day.
All right. Well, you already sold me, so I definitely would love to go there during that time frame for the weather, at least.
Yeah.
But what is the layout? What is it like during the week? Because I know they. Can you go into a little detail about how the event starts during the week? Because I know it happens usually Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. They have practice rounds, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they've added some other events on the weekend prior to the tournament starting. There's the women's amateur tournament, and then on Sunday is the drive, chip, and putt, which is young kids get to go showcase their skills. Then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are the practice rounds. Wednesday afternoon is the par three tournament on the par three part of the course. And uniquely, it is one of the only events that you cannot bring your cell phone in at all. Um, don't even try it. They have metal detectors. However, you can bring your camera in on practice round days. So you can, get that picture of the clubhouse and the leaderboard, the azaleas of yourselves that you can, post on social media, but only on the tournament. I mean, excuse me, only on the practice round days. Then Thursday is when the tournament starts. They typically have they do have every year what they call it, like a master of ceremonies. And so an older retired golfer, it always was, Arnold Palmer until he passed away, Jack Nicklaus now, um, Gary Player, they will do the inaugural tee shot. And so to kick off the event, and that's early Thursday morning. If you're familiar with golf, the whole full field of golfers is on Thursday and Friday. Then they have the cut on Friday afternoon. So then you have less golfers typically on the weekend. If you're really, an avid fan, you can follow a player and go see the whole course and watch them hit every shot. You can park it in one spot and see a whole bunch of players come through. And then, Sunday, the final round, when it's over and there's a clear winner, there's the green jacket ceremony to cap things off and finish the event.
Man, that's a long, fun-filled week. I didn't know about the stuff that they added to the on the weekend with the kids and the women.
Hmm.
That's
Yeah,
it's become
it's
a
very
whole.
cool.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
is a very interesting way of going about it. Um, what do you, in your opinion, what do you think is the best day to go?
Um, that's a good question. I think, oh, I think Tuesday. It's not like Wednesday is people just love to go for the par three tournament. I think Tuesday is nice because it's a little bit less crowded. You don't have everyone gathered in one spot. That's just my personal thought. Um, I think, obviously you can't be going on Sunday.
Yeah,
There's just something magical in the air. You can't beat it, especially when someone infamous is in the hunt and could take the lead or is in the lead and could win that green jacket. Um, and there's just a buzz in the air, and it's really cool. But I also think going on Friday or Thursday for that matter, when the whole field is participating is really cool too. You might get to see someone really up close and personal that might not make the cut. So it's nice to support those guys too. Um, and the cool thing about going on a practice round is if you really are paying attention to what's going on, you'll see the golfers hit multiple shots from one spot. And if you're into, like the science behind it and what they picked this club over this club on the second shot, it's really cool for golfers to get to see that. Like what's going kind of, you don't know what's going on in their head, but you can kind of try to get in their head a little bit. Um, and knowing what's going on. You just don't get that on TV at all. So I think that's one of the really cool things about the practice rounds.
you said a valid point. I didn't even think about that because we don't really see what goes through these guys' heads when they're
Mm.
about to putt or drive or anything like that. So you're absolutely right. It's just kind of thinking in their head, some science and geometry right there. I mean, we just don't see that on
Yeah.
TV.
No.
But
No, it's pretty cool.
yeah, no, that's you're like you said, you brought up some valid points that I didn't even think about. And but as a fan standpoint, I know you can definitely do some shopping down there. And
Oh,
do
yeah.
you, you got some good stories for or tips if I go shopping at the Masters?
I don't know. I don't know if they would be qualified as good, but I've definitely my credit card's been smoking hot after I've left there. So that it's not necessarily a gift shop anymore. It's more like a small department store. Um, and uh, they have anything and everything Masters branded that you could ever possibly want or need in your life. From glasses, drinking glasses to towels. Obviously the shirts are famous. Um, they've added more, activewear over the last couple of years, which is kind of cool. Anything from men, from button-down shirts to sweaters to a t-shirt to the golf shirts, different brand names. My thing that I do that's, it's probably just me. It can't just be me because they obviously make them, but I always like to try to get a Christmas ornament. Um, Whenever, I go somewhere, I try to find an ornament from wherever I am. And I think I have every master's year since I started going. So, and years ago, one of the first times I ever went, they had an ornament of the clubhouse, and it's just like a gold, looking thing, and it's got the clubhouse and it spins around, and it just has a very special meaning for me, and I love putting it on my Christmas tree, and then they have ones now, they have like the year on it, and I try to find those and get that one of those every time I'm there. But yeah, I come out of there with things, and my husband is like, "Are you kidding me? What?
No,
you, you've done this before." I'm like, "I know, but they had this time, or whatever it is." So, um, yeah, it's it's hard. I don't know. I'm a shopper, I guess, so it's hard for me to say no. Um, especially like I have two boys, and when they were little, the little boy stuff was so cute. It's just really, really hard to turn it down. Um, I don't know what else. I mean, name something. They have it.
that I mean, honestly, I
Yeah.
didn't even, like when you were talking about the ornament. I mean, I think that's a great tradition just to have one
Hmm.
every year because
Yeah.
we kind of do the same thing on as I always tell people on these podcasts. I'm from New England, and my mom always sends me a nice little Patriot figurine to put on the Christmas tree every year. But when it comes to the Masters, that's even better. I mean, that's like, especially if it came to that gift shop correctly. I can only imagine.
Hmm. Hmm.
Now, let's say, like, hypothetically speaking, I go buy a pint glass and when I'm there, and
Hmm.
can I bring it onto the grounds, or is that a no no?
Oh, like if you go through the concession stand?
Yeah, yeah. Like if I'm buying,
Oh, yeah.
okay,
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
okay. I just
Definitely. You can walk around with it.
I didn't
There's
know.
not,
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean.
yeah. No, there's no designated, drinking area. You can
Okay,
take it to the stands. You can take it as you're walking.
okay,
Yeah, for
okay.
sure.
Yeah, because I know that they have some different rules, and I didn't know if certain things you can't take in, like a cell phone or a camera or anything
Hmm.
like that.
Can't bring your cell phone in. Nope.
Yeah, that's honestly, I would love that. I think that sounds amazing at that point because then you're just focused on what you're doing. And
Inside the Huddle is presented by Ticket City. Since 1990, Ticket City has been your source for good tickets to top events. Visit ticketcity.com to view our whole selection of sports, concerts, and theater tickets.
we talk about certain things. Is there things that I should bring aside from camera if I'm going to the practice rounds? Should I wear a hat? Should I wear a sunscreen?
Definitely want sunscreen because even though it doesn't feel hot, you could definitely get sunburned. Hats for sure. Keep the sun off your face. Wear comfortable shoes. You'd be surprised. You see, especially lovely young ladies walking around with you know tall shoes on, and it's very hilly. And it- you will get a workout walking from one end of the course to another. So tennis shoes, comfortable shoes. A lot of people wear their golf shoes. Obviously, no spikes allowed. Um, but yeah, just comfort. Dress appropriately, I would say.
Yeah.
And like I said at the beginning, of our conversation, I think most people do. I mean, you don't see a lot of cutoffs and jean shorts and stuff. I mean, people are dressed like they're going to an event. I mean, a prestigious event, and I think that's because they just have so much respect for the history of it, and they want to look nice. You know, one of my favorite stories is this is a long time ago. We, had a client. You don't have a phone, you don't have a camera, you don't have anything to document and something special. And so this young man comes back to where we were, you know, set up down there. And he says, he's just shaking his head. And I'm thinking, he had a horrible time. Something bad has happened or whatever. I mean, and then he looks up and sees us and he gets this big smile on his face. And I said, what's going on? What happened? He said, you will never believe the day that I had. I said, what happened? he said he was standing there and he's watching, players come through, standing in the same spot for a long time. And he got to talking to the marshal in between, the downtime when you're waiting on the next group to come. And the marshal is standing there, they're chatting up golf and whatnot. And then he turns, next to him is a couple of guys and they start chatting it up and they said, "Hey, you want to walk the course with us?" And it was Emmitt Smith. It was Emmitt Smith, and I'm a huge Cowboys fan, and I think he was from Dallas too. And so we talked about it, and he got to they just walked the course together for like 3 or 4 hours and had a big time. And he came back and he just had this smile on his face. He's like, "No one's ever gonna believe me."
Oh, I mean that's awesome.
So you never know who you'll run into.
That I was going to ask you, have you met any famous celebrities or sports stars at the Masters?
Let's see. I've been in the vicinity of a few, and you know me, I'm oblivious to things that are happening around me sometimes. So, Fuzzy Zeller, I don't know if you remember
Oh
him.
yeah,
He
yeah.
he played for many years. He was in the restaurant at the same time as us and walked past us. Um, I was able to meet Jim Nance one time,
Oh, that's it.
and that was pretty cool. But like spectators, we met Jason Kidd a couple years ago.
Oh yeah, no, that's a big deal.
I mean,
All right, Caroline. One last question for you. You know, when I do go to the Masters and I'm meeting up with my buddies, what are some cool spots on the course that I should check out?
you should definitely check out the clubhouse. You can, after you enter the course, you kind of come up on the back side of the clubhouse, and you can see all the, green and white umbrellas at the tables. Unfortunately, you can't see the front side where the players drive up because obviously for security reasons they have that closed off. Um, I think one of the best spots is probably on or around the 12th tee, which is right in the middle of Amen Corner because you can see a lot from there. And then like the 16th tee because when you're getting not only do you have a spectacular view, but you're getting, especially on Sunday, you're getting towards the end of the tournament. So, it's just an incredible hole. The atmosphere is amazing. There's nothing quite like it. And you asked me about running into people. I can't remember if it was on what hole she was on, but 15 or it was 15 or 16 last year when Tiger won. And I don't know if you remember the shot of Michael Phelps was standing
That's
next to
right.
this woman. She had a big bright pink shirt on.
Mm-hmm.
And after the tournament finished early because of weather. And so later that afternoon, evening, I walked in to a restaurant. And again, I'm oblivious, minding my own business. And this woman starts talking to me and being real friendly. And I look over and it's the woman that was on the TV standing next to Michael Phelps. And I said, "Why do you look so familiar to me? Do we know each other? Do we have we met before?" And then she was like, "No." She goes, "I was on TV all day." They kept replaying it. They kept replaying it because Tiger had hit a great shot on that particular hole. So anyway, that was really a fun thing last year to get her take on the whole thing and meeting Michael Phelps and everything. That was really cool.
That is a cool story. I mean,
Yeah,
you never know who you're going to run into, and whether they got their 15 minutes of fame or not.
exactly, exactly.
But we just wanted to get some excitement going on, especially with this year. And if you have any questions, or if things are kind of getting back to normal, as they would say, in next year, and if you're interested
Mhm.
in going to the Masters, definitely hit us up. You can email me directly at james@ticketcity.com. And I just want to say thank you to Caroline for joining us today. because she is definitely the master of the masters here at
Thank you.
TicketCity. So
Thank you very much.
thank you so much for joining us. And again, keep listening and subscribe to the Inside the Huddle podcast for TicketCity, and we'll see you next week.
The Inside the Huddle podcast is brought to you by TicketCity. Since 1990, TicketCity has been the trusted place to buy tickets with over 1 million customers served. Your hosts for this episode are TicketCity's own live experts JP Riley and Lee Chong. Feedback was provided by a whole bunch of good folks on our team. If you have any questions about the events we talked about in this episode or need tickets to a live event, please do not hesitate to reach out to us directly at sales@ticketcity.com. All right, guys, we'll see you next time.